Good afternoon, welcome to Solent Sports News. It's 3 o'clock and I'm Denis Alecu. England's cricketers have lost the first Ashes test to Australia by 10 wickets in Brisbane, but the attention has been on Johnny Bairstow since the match. All parties have played down the seriousness of an alleged headbutt from the wicketkeeper on Australia, Cameron Bancroft, a month ago, described as really weird greeting. England head coach Trevor Bayliss will give his squad a stern talking to.
Most people in the world like going out at night and having a couple of quiet ones. We've got to be careful that you don't do anything stupid. We've just got to be smarter. And if that means not having anything to drink, well then so be it.
With me is my colleague Ashley, who is going to offer us a short recap about the Ashes. Hello, Ashley.
Yeah, it's been an interesting first test. I mean, there's been eagerly more anticipated due to a lot of off-field action with the Ben Stokes debacle, everything going on now with Johnny Bairstow. There's been issuing a lot of warnings from Nathan Lyon coming towards the England players. But I mean, they reacted well early on. James Vince coming in for a debut had a lot of issues of warning from Matthew Hayden coming in, but he scored well. But it just wasn't offered enough in the second innings. They dug themselves too big of a hole. And it's going to be interesting going into the second test how they can fight back from this, because, I mean, Australia haven't lost an Ashes test match in Brisbane for 30 years now, so it was very unexpected if they were to capture a win. But they've got a long way to go, and there is a chance of them fighting back, and it would just be whether they can get Ben Stokes in for the second test match to get them back on the recovery at Perth.
Thank you very much, Ashley. France won the Davis Cup for the 10th time as Lucas Pouille beat Belgium's Steve Darcis in the decisive match. World number 18, Pouille claimed victory for his country with a clear win 6-3, 6-1, 6-0 against Darcis, who is ranked 76th. France are the Davis Cup tennis champions for the first time since 2001. Southampton won 4-1 against Everton at the weekend, giving the Saints a much-needed 3 points. With so many managers being sacked lately, pressure was growing on Pellegrino. Linus Harrington reports.
Another one bites the dust.
De Boer, Shakespeare, Koeman, Bilic, Pulis. Just 13 games into the Premier League season, yet already 5 clubs have decided to part ways with their managers, and the likes of Mauricio Pellegrino and Paul Clement are looking over their shoulders in fear of getting the chop anytime soon. But is all this managerial instability damaging the Premier League and the overall state of English football? Only 2 managers across all 92 teams that play in England leagues have lasted more than 10 years at their current club. Paul Tisdale's 11 years at Exeter and Arsene Wenger's incredible 21-year stint at Arsenal. Local football fans have been giving their thoughts as to whether managers are treated unfairly in the modern game.
Yeah, there's usually a witch hunt going around for managers most of the time.
I think they are treated unfairly. I think with the pressure they're under, if they have a run of bad games, they'll get sacked too early. I think a lot of them should be given more time, really.
And nowadays the owners are just one performance in a short bit of time, but in fact to build a great team you have to be patient and you have to trust your own manager.
Saints boss Mauricio Pellegrino has come under increasing scrutiny from the St Mary's faithful, with some even calling for the Argentine to be shown the door sooner rather than later. Sunday's 4-1 win over Everton may have relieved some of the tension, but the pressure is still on. Speaking after Bilic's sacking, chief sports editor for the Daily Echo Adam Leach stated the Southampton boss was at real risk given the manner of the Premier League.
Well, the pressure's on. That's the first thing to say. There's no doubt about that. I think that's just the reality of the Premier League. I think what's worrying is the thought that it could get a lot worse very quickly.
And it's not just experts looking in that are warning of the threat to Pellegrino's job. The 46-year-old is all too wary of the scrutiny he's under after a poor start to the season.
Yes, the pressure in our job is to work in football. Everything is a risk. But I enjoy my profession and I know what the result is part of our job. I am responsible in the way that we are playing, responsible in the way that we are training, about our dynamics. But I think we are in the right track.
But is this treatment of managers in today's world of football justified? I spoke with Rafa Citron, the manager of Solent women's football team, to get his thoughts on the difficulties of being a manager.
I think the pressure is, it's obviously higher because the amount of money is being invested in the game. There's loads of things that involve football. You can have the best players but not the best team. You can have the best game and you can still lose a game. So loads of things are involved, but it's easier for the club to change just one person, would be the manager, than had to change a whole team.
Given the unrelenting climate that football managers operate within nowadays, it is highly likely there'll be several more high-profile sackings over the rest of the Premier League season. Whether Maurizio Pellegrino will be amongst those looking for employment elsewhere, only time will tell. Linus Harrington, Solent Sports News.
Mental health is one of the biggest problems in these days, a problem many football players are facing. Following the death of Gary Speed 6 years ago today, fans of football have been telling us how they feel about mental health awareness in football.
Yeah, personally, I think sports should treat mental health as seriously as they do injuries, because firstly it affects the player's performance, which is the utmost priority for a team, and secondly, if mental health is monitored the way injuries are, we get less cases like we do with Gary Speed, because that was such a shock for everyone.
Most recently it was Aaron Lennon was out for a long time for Everton, and due to his mental health, and that was regarded, well, for social media wise, that was regarded nearly nationwide, and everyone supported him. So I feel it is more important than physical injuries, because mental health is the most important thing.
Obviously their physical health is being monitored and they're pushing themselves through physical goals, but no one's really thinking about their mental health, which is also equally as important.
Brendan Rodgers had become the first Celtic manager since Jock Stein to win 4 domestic trophies in a row. The holders retained the Scottish League Cup with a 2-0 victory over 10th man Motherwell in the final at Hampden. Rodgers is very happy for this moment, but is playing down his own contribution. Formula 1 world champion Lewis Hamilton says Mercedes team Valtteri Bottas did an amazing job to beat him at the season-ending race in Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He also admitted that it was difficult for him to be at the same competitive level for the final 2 races since won the title. That's all from us now. Goodbye.